Hello students, welcome to the online class. So today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the changes around us. Okay, so this is the next chapter of your chemistry part. So today we are going to discuss what were the changes it is there around us. Suppose in the night time the darkness is there, whenever the daytime it will come, the sunshine it will be there. Somehow if you cut the trees, what are the changes? You cannot get return back the full trees if you once cut the trees. Suppose, have you seen the magician, whenever they are showing one magic, okay, automatically somehow they are going to vanish something. So obviously it is the changing. Now the summer season is there, automatically the rainy season it will come, automatically again the autumn, automatically the winter season, one by one the changes it will be there. So obviously it is very much interesting that how the changes it is related to our daily life, not our daily life but also according to the environment. So one by one we are going to discuss the full chapter along with the questions. So everyone, you will watch the video at the last of the time, okay, and everyone be ready with your pen and paper. What were the questions I will discuss here, everyone write down in your copy. Okay, so let's go ahead. So now we will see how the changes it is related to our environment or our daily changes. Okay, see here, what is the difference between these two images? Someone is going to walking and someone is trying to walk, right? So this is how whatever the seed if you plant in the soil, so within a month or within 15 days it will raise, or it will be just it will show a new plant, right? So obviously these two pictures, first I have shown you that the human being are trying to walk and a baby is trying to walk, okay, and here the seed it is going to plant. Okay, what is the difference between these two images? Somewhere the leaves of the plant it is molded with the eyes, and somehow no eyes is there. Okay, what is the difference between these two images? In the left hand side, whatever the pictures, the green leaf it is there in the daytime. Okay, if you can understand the difference, in the left hand side it is the daytime, and in the right hand side whatever it is there, it is the night time. So obviously moon is there, so you can obviously understand it is the night time. What is the difference? Same picture like that, the difference picture it is given here. Somehow nowadays we are feeling, sometimes it is cold because the rain it will be happen, and sometimes we are feeling so much hot because very sunshine, or the whatever the temperature of the sun it is very much whatever it is very much high. Okay, now why I have shown this type of the picture, obviously you can understand there are two types of the changes around us, right? So these are all the picture what I have shown you, all the related the changes. In the night time, whatever the scenario of your environment or of your ecosystem, it is looking like different. In the daytime also it is looking like different, but same thing, the same changes it will be appeared in the same environment. Okay, in the night time the darkness it will be there, in the daytime the very much whatever the light or very much it will be shining. Okay, so in the hot means in the summer season it is very much hot, in the cold season or in the winter season it is very much cold. Same area, same locality, but we are facing these type of the changes. So these are all about our chapter. As I said before also, what were the changes it will be going on, based on these we can divide the changes according to the two. Okay, what are the two changes? First we will discuss the reversible changes, second we will discuss that the irreversible changes. Okay, so let's go ahead. So students, all the changes around us it can be two types. Okay, irreversible and the reversible. So first you take your copy and divide the changes according to the two types. First you will write down the reversible changes as I am showing here, and another part you will write down the irreversible changes. Okay, so what does it mean by the reversible changes, right? So as I am showing the picture over here, the melting of the butter. Suppose you have given the butter, or you have seen also your mother whenever she used to cook, at that time whenever she is using the butter, okay, at that time the butter is going to melt. Whenever we are folding the clothes or we are wearing the clothes, whenever we are going to cool the water, that means we are forming the ice in our the refrigerator. So automatically if you melt the water or the melt the ice, the water it will be again, it will be returned, yes or not? If you cool down the butter, automatically the butter again it will become in the block size. Whenever the folding of the cloth, suppose now whatever we are wearing the clothes, so whenever I will fold my clothes, automatically the changes it will be again returned. So these type of changes it will be known as the reversible changes, okay. So which the changes it will be again back, or again it will be the opposite direction, it should be called as the reversible changes. So what it is written here, when a changes can happen in the opposite or in the backward direction. Suppose I am going to the school. Suppose I am a student, I am going to the school. After the school over, again I am returning back in my home. So it is called as a reversible changes. That means from where I have started, in the last or in the finishing point, again I have returned back in the same point. In a reversible reaction, we can get back the original products used. Just now I have given the example, okay. So melting of the butter, freezing of the water, folding of the cloths, boiling of the water, so all it will be together the reversible changes. Now we will go to the irreversible change. So what is the question you will put here? What do you mean the reversible changes? State one example, okay. So everyone write down in the copy what is the meaning of the reversible changes, explain with an example, okay. Next we will go to the irreversible changes. So let's go. So now if I ask you one question, how many of you, your favorite dish is Maggi, or your favorite dish is the omelette or the boiled egg? So many of you will tell, ma'am, I have means I like the Maggi, I like the noodles, I like the omelette. So everything, whatever, suppose all the things. Why I am asking this one? Because whenever we are cooking the Maggi, or we are making the noodles, we are doing the omelette, we are boiling the egg. Now first you think about that. Suppose you have boiled the egg, okay. Whenever you are taking breakfast, you should take one boiled egg. So at that time, if I ask you, from the boiled egg, can you return back to the raw egg which you have used to boil? That time you will say obviously no, ma'am. So the changes obviously from the raw egg, whatever I have done the boiled egg, or whatever I have made the omelette, so this is obviously one change. But from the omelette or from the boiled egg, we could not return to the original product. So these type of the changes around us, which we cannot get the return or cannot go to the original point, that is known as actually the irreversible process, okay, or irreversible changes. So here some 4 examples it is there as the figure. Cooking food, as I said the example. Making the curd from the milk, obviously you also have seen that whenever your mother is making the curd or making the paneer, at that time from the milk we are used to make this type of the product. But from the curd, from the paneer, we cannot, or from the butter also, we cannot go to the return back to the milk. So these type of the changes, it is known as the irreversible process. So let's go to the definition. Here the definition is there. When a change cannot happen in the opposite, as we have discussed in the reversible. In the reversible we can go to the opposite, but in the irreversible we cannot go to the opposite, right? It is called as the irreversible changes. So do you have any problem? And whatever the question will put here where the irreversible process, state an example. Okay, so with an example you will write down the answer. As I am showing here also, when a change cannot happen in the opposite or the backward direction, it is called as the irreversible changes. So in an irreversible reaction we cannot get back. So as I have told that the reaction or the process or the changes, so we cannot go back to that of the original product. So these changes, for example curdling, that means the making of curd, rusting of iron, changes in the color of leaves. So whenever obviously you have seen in the autumn season, so the leaf color it is going to yellow. Why? Because it will be fallen down. And why it is so like? Because the chlorophyll substance it will be less in amount, right? So for that the leaf it will be fallen down, and the plant or the tree again it will return back, or again it will be having the new leaves, but the old leaves it will not coming back. This is also an irreversible changes, right? So this is, and one more question you will write down, give the difference between reversible and the irreversible changes with example. Okay, so these three questions already I have told, and note down in the copy. Next we will go to the next topic. Okay,
in this video we will be learning about the different types of changes that occur around us. Let's take a look at a few changes. Observe carefully and see if you can identify any similarities among them. Melting of butter, folding of paper, freezing of water. Did you spot anything common among these changes? Do you think you can get the original product back once the change takes place? Discuss in pairs. We can get back the original products used in the process. When a change takes place in the opposite or backward direction, it is called a reversible change. In a reversible change, we can get the original products used and the change can be undone. We can cool butter to return it to its original state. We can unfold paper back to its original shape. We can heat ice so that it is back to its original liquid form. Let's take a look at a few other changes. Observe them and see if you can identify any similarities among them. Burning of wood, chopping of vegetables, cooking of food. What did you notice in these videos? Do you think you can get the original product back? Discuss in pairs. In all the changes that you saw, you cannot get the original products back. When we burn wood, it turns into ashes and we cannot get the original wood back. When we chop vegetables, we cannot get them back to their original form. When we cook food, we cannot get the original ingredients back. So, when a change cannot take place in the opposite or backward direction, it is called an irreversible change. In case of an irreversible change, we cannot get the original products back and the change cannot be undone. So, reversible changes are those which can be undone and we can get the original products back. Whereas, irreversible changes are those which cannot be undone and we cannot get the original products back.
so students, now we will see how the heating it will be related or it will bring the changes. Suppose we have one ice block, right? So if you give the heat or if you keep in the normal temperature, automatically it will make the changes or it will convert into the water. So volume it will be changed as you have seen that suppose you are giving the heat to the iron, so it will be contract or it will be relax. So better the contraction and the relaxation. Contraction and the relaxation means expand. It will expand or maybe it will be contracted. So these two changes actually it will be possible if you give the heat. So now we will write one question in our copy, how the heating it will bring the changes around us. Okay. So in this question answer you need to give one or two examples how the heating it is related to make the changes. For example, here also you can take the reference. Different materials react differently upon heating. Some materials undergo reversible changes when heated. For example, if you melt the ice, it will be going to make the water or convert to water. But if you again give the cooling temperature or cooling effect to the water, automatically it will be reversed to the ice. So it will be known as the reversible changes. But whenever you are going to cook something, or whenever you are doing or you are making one omelette or you are boiling the egg, that means you are giving the heat. So whatever the liquid egg is there, automatically it is turning to the solid particle, right? So but from the solid egg or omelette you cannot return back to the raw egg or that liquid egg, okay, which is having in the eggshell. So that is one example of the irreversible changes. Now we will discuss how the mixture effect it will happen or it will give the effects in the changes. Okay, so the heading everyone write down in the copy, effect of mixing different substances. Here what you are seeing, if we mix the cement with water, what do you think will happen? So whenever we are making our home, the whatever that they are making or they are mixing, right? So they are mixing the cement with the water. The cement it will be hardened when if you mix with the water. So as it is showing here. But if we once we make the harden, then from this one again we cannot get the return back. So can we get the powdered cement back from the cement which hardens? No, obviously no. If you want to give the answer, you can write down in the copy. No, we cannot get the cement back in the powder form. So is this change reversible or irreversible? Obviously we are all the students, we have known that these changes it is known as an irreversible changes because we cannot get the cement back in the powder form. Same example like that, another example it is given. If we mix the sugar with water, what do you think will happen? We know that the sugar particle it will be dissolved in the water, okay, and it will make one solution. But can we get this sugar back from the sugar solution? So what is the answer? Can you guess? Yes, we can get the sugar back from the sugar solution by the evaporation, as we have discussed in the class. So with the help of the evaporation, the water vapor it will be formed, and in the bottom of the pot the sugar particle it will be settled down. So is this change it is reversible or irreversible? So everyone think that it is irreversible or reversible. So obviously we are getting the sugar particle, so obviously it will be the reversible changes, as we can get the return back of the sugar. Now what can we conclude from the above these two examples? One examples I have given as the cement and one example I have given sugar. So both this cement powder or the sugar it will be mixing with the water. Something we cannot getting the return and something we are getting the return. So automatically something it is reversible, something it is the reversible, right? So mixing with the things like that water or any particle, it can be reversible. It is based on the properties or the whatever the things it is their materials or the whatever it is made up of, all the things it is depending, right? So next we will be discussing some question and